This bottle of water is 10 times more expensive than a Bisleri bottle because it has 10 grams of protein in it. But it's not just water. Whey protein, kulfi, bread, pranthas and even dosas. Brands have ensured that you see protein products all around you. But while you think you are eating protein, the reality is much darker than that. And I'm not talking about brands giving you less protein than promised on the pack. I'm talking about not one, not two, but three really clever, dark things that you have no idea brands are doing to you. And the third one will blow your mind away. So if you don't want to get scammed the next time you buy something with protein, you need to watch this until the end.
Protein is not just trending in gyms anymore.
प्रोटीन हाई प्रोटीन
प्रोटीन सबको अपने बॉडी वेट के हिसाब से प्रोटीन लेना चाहिए.
Your diet has a major impact on your health.
But how did we become so gullible and obsessed with protein in the first place? Well, protein is one of the 6 essential nutrients that the human body needs. Each one of these serve their own function, and protein has a crucial job: build, repair and maintain your body's muscles and tissues. But while only gym dudes and athletes cared about protein in India so far, something weird happened in the last few years. And it can be easily explained using what sociologists call the nutrition transition theory. As countries develop socially and economically, people's income increases. As a result, their diets also change, shifting from high fiber diets to ones that are high in sugar, animal products, processed food and saturated fat, because they're convenient, tasty and often seen as a status symbol. So the richer you get, the more unhealthier your diet becomes. But then comes another twist. After a point, people become educated enough that they begin to understand the problems of this high calorie, low nutrition diet. So they start becoming more and more health conscious. They start looking for protein rich diets. And this might be what happened in India as well. But this still does not explain why Indians suddenly went crazy for protein in less than 5 years. And that was where the biggest health disaster of this century played a huge role.
China has identified the cause of a
Mysterious new virus, coronavirus.
There are fears a rapidly spreading virus.
Pandemic is in the end game in India.
360,000 new infections in the last 24 hours.
India at a breaking point.
The COVID-19 pandemic triggered one of the biggest behavioral changes in human history. Suddenly, immunity and health became super important. Everyone wanted to avoid disease and their medicines altogether. So they started prioritizing protein supplements and immunity boosters, becoming obsessed with fitness. And there was one group of people who made the most out of this opportunity, which were health and fitness influencers.
Protein shakes won't make you fat or bulky.
How to consume your protein shake?
A survey showed that in the first week of the nationwide lockdown, social media usage rose by almost 75%, and a huge chunk of this was content related to health and fitness. These fitness influencers were convincing people that they were not getting enough protein and supplements. And this kind of marketing by influencers had a surprising effect, with consequences that no one expected. The pandemic got over, but the way Indians ate changed forever. A lot of us became obsessed with protein. If you zoom in, you will see that India's protein market is now booming. It's currently a $1.5 billion industry and is set to reach $2.08 billion by 2030. The plant-based protein supplements market alone will be double of what it was just 2 years ago. So a bunch of brands decided to take advantage of this protein fetish and do something evil. They began fooling people by releasing protein-rich variants of almost everything.
Protein-packed food now seems to be everywhere you turn.
Even the fast food giant is launching protein-rich menu items.
And same applies to yogurt, to snack bar, the wafer bars.
McDonald's launched a plant-based protein slice.
Amul, India's largest producer of milk, is one of the biggest brands trying to ride this wave. High protein kulfi, lassi, cool coffee, buttermilk, paneer, curd and shakes. It's like they've launched a protein variant of their entire product line. Even giants that had almost nothing to do with dairy are hopping on, like ITC. It bought a majority stake in Yoga Bar in 2023 for hundreds of crores, where you can buy plant protein, protein mango shakes, protein bars and more. And then there are new age startups. A dozen protein supplement brands have featured on Shark Tank now, like Cosmix, Earthful and Fit Feast. Even influencers themselves don't want to miss out. Flying Beast, a popular content creator, has launched Beast Life, yet another protein brand.
Meet the game changer. Beast Life Iso Rich Whey Protein.
Switch to Beast Life. ये एक light protein, better absorption
और इसमें ऐसे कुछ केमिकल्स नहीं है।
But the craziness does not stop there, because it's not just protein water. Idli, bread, oats, khakra and even chikki. You can now buy a high protein variant of everyday food items. So bodybuilders are clearly not the only target audience anymore. It is everyone. But why is it a scam? Protein is good for our body and they are helping us get more of it in an easier way. Right? Well, behind this hype for protein supplements, we are missing out on some dark, finer details. And the final one is the most clever of all. The first one is fooling you with misleading labels and nutrient profiles. Because what these brands claim on their packaging is often not true. I read a detailed report from a medical journal which tested 36 brands selling protein supplements in India. And the results were shocking. 70% of these brands were exaggerating the amount of protein, with some brands offering only half of what they claim. Some of them even had harmful fungal toxins and pesticide residue. But then the study gets more interesting. Interestingly, some brands contained more protein than what they had advertised on their label. But that's a good thing, right? Not at all. Researchers say that this was achieved by something called amino acid spiking. That is when some manufacturers add cheap amino acids to protein powders to artificially increase the protein content. These cheap amino acids do not deliver on the benefits of good protein, so you'll not be getting the complete quality that you think you are buying. However, low protein content is not the biggest concern with these labels. These protein products usually also have other ingredients like sugar and fat in them that could be very unhealthy. So taking that product for the protein will actually do more harm than good. This is a Delhi-based protein supplement company. It makes a high protein snack bar that has about 21 grams of protein per serving. That's a lot of protein. To put it in context, if you are a person with a body weight of 75 kg, you'd need about 60 grams of protein per day. This means that a single protein bar from this brand can fulfill 33% of your daily requirement. But there is a catch. The list of ingredients contains glucose syrup, something that is almost pure sugar and very unhealthy in the long run. According to the company, the glucose syrup is included in the snack bars to bind and hold moisture and also as a quick source of energy. But in reality, that does not make it harmless, because Indian diets are already rich in carbohydrates like rice, wheat and potatoes, and carbs get broken down into glucose. So we're already eating a lot of sugar. If you add one protein bar a day to your diet, it might lead to a sugar overload and cause more harm than good. But this is not the only brand that does this. Almost every brand selling protein products have added sugars and fats. Like this brand makes protein bread, but if you look closely, it also has sunflower oil. While not as bad as palm oil, excess of any type of refined vegetable oil can contribute to health concerns. But this is only what they are actively putting on their labels. A darker problem is what they do not mention on their packaging: mixing different kinds of proteins. There isn't just one kind of protein. Depending on where you're getting the protein from, the quality varies. If you get it from milk, it is whey protein. It is loaded with amino acids, which are the building blocks, and it is easily digestible for most people. You can also get it from plants like soy or pea protein, and that is where companies play a dark game. Many protein brands use various kinds of protein blends. For example, this is a brand that makes protein bars. If you check its ingredients, this is what it says: protein blend 28%. And if you read within the bracket, it says it is mostly a blend of soy and whey protein. The reason is that soy can be up to 50% cheaper than whey, but most nutritionists don't recommend it as much as whey because it has lower levels of essential amino acids. It is also not as easily digestible. But the darkest trick of all, and the one where these brands make the real money, is the pricing. Somewhere along the line during this protein boom, brands realized that it was a golden opportunity. Indians were convinced they were not getting enough protein but confused how to get it, ready to pay any price for it. So exploiting this fear and confusion, brands started slapping protein on the labels and skyrocketed the prices. Want to charge double for the same product? Just launch a protein variant. And that's what brands did, just like that glass of water I showed you in the beginning. According to research by the Morning Context, protein bread can be 3 times more expensive than regular bread. Protein yogurt and milk are 4 times, while protein milk can be 6 times more expensive. So by investing a small amount in relabeling the product and adding some protein, brands are making exponential returns. While you, the buyer, may not hit the required protein intake that you expect, getting sugars and fat instead. So is this all just a hype, and should you stop trying to get more protein in your diet, irrespective of what these brands do? The fact remains that Indians do need more protein. India is a vast country, and dinner in Delhi might look very different from dinner in Tamil Nadu. But whatever may be the diet, research shows that more than 70% of Indians are protein deficient. Unlike most other countries, the Indian diet is heavily vegetarian, and about 84% of the vegetarian diets across the country lacks protein. But there's another twist to it. It is not just poor Indians who cannot afford protein-rich diets who are the victims. According to a survey by Indian Market Research Bureau, about 73% of the urban rich is protein deficient. So we do need protein. But how do you get it? First, start by understanding how much protein you would require in a day. A lot of free protein calculators are available on the internet. All you have to do is enter your details like your weight and it will tell you how much protein you need. The average adult needs about 0.8 to 1.2 gram of protein per kg of body weight and more if you are an athlete or actively training. That will tell you how short you are on hitting your required protein intake. And then comes the tricky part, choosing the protein powders and supplements carefully. Instead of relying on processed protein products, try to have whole food sources first. Eggs, dairy, tofu, nuts and more. That will help you use these supplements only as a way to fill the gap that remains. And when you do, read the fine print like a detective. Watch out for added sugars, refined oils and protein blends. Finally, also do a cost versus value analysis. Do not pay triple price for protein bread. Subscribe if you made it this far and check out my Instagram for amazing reels. If you liked this video, I recommend watching this one next. Until I see you in the next video, goodbye.